We're good.
Okay.
Gonna unmute him.
Right.
Matt says he's running the show.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. We'll let you
All
talk.
right. So we've just come out of a non-public session. We're coming back into the public session of our meeting. Let's start by rising to salute the flag, if we could. I pledge allegiance
To
to the flag
of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So Matt, are you
Yes.
alone in the room?
I am alone in the room currently. I can't promise it'll be that way
Okay.
the whole time.
All right.
You can put that in the minutes. I'm, just so everybody knows, I am traveling. Don't feel bad for me. I'm in Florida. So I wanted to make sure I was part of the meeting tonight. So that spiel, and I forget what it is, Diane, but I am allowed to electronically attend these meetings because there is a quorum present in the room in Town Hall. So
Right. And that all votes need to be a roll call vote.
Exactly, thank you. So what we're going to start with is we just, as I said, we came out of a non-public session. I'd like to ask if a
So,
member of the board would.
I will move that the board just came out of non-public session under RSA 91-A:32C, and that they keep all matters discussed confidential until, in the opinion of the majority of the board, the circumstances no longer apply except to provide the bookkeeper with necessary information for payroll.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Matt's and I.
Okay, one
Okay.
more. Oh,
Recording in progress.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along, I believe our next agenda item is the EOC ARPA update.
You know, Matt, last time you were in Florida, you had to drive home. Don't pull that this time.
I know. Thankfully, I won't have to this time.
Okay. Okay, so just to give you an update on ARPA, just keeping you informed on the status of the projects that you, the Board of Selectmen, have already approved. First of all, our AEDs have arrived. They came yesterday, and Deputy Fire Chief Kane is working on replacing them. They will be put wherever the old ones were taken away. And if you remember, the reason we did this was so that we had uniformity with Trinity Ambulance. Many times when they responded to a medical, and our guys and gals had to use our AEDs when Trinity came, they ended up taking the patient with those, so we lost our AEDs. Now, with the same pads, everything's the same, so we're not going to lose anything with Trinity. So this was really a good move, and we'll replace, I believe we bought 20, Charlie, right? 20, I think. Number two, the fire department rescue boat is going to be here next month. We're very excited about it. We have 17 boat safety certified personnel that can operate this for a rescue, and this is a huge asset for our community. And again, if it wasn't for ARPA money, we never would have been able to do this. Number three, our flat screen security TVs have been installed at the Newton Police Station. All the cameras are up where they should be. We're just waiting for the internet to be connected. And I think you haven't heard anything on that, Diane, on the
I
internet?
thought it was already connected up.
Not yet. I talked to the chief this afternoon, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Voting booths have arrived. I think I may have mentioned it last time. For you people in TV land, they're going to be new. I know how people don't like change. But Mary Jo and I actually set one up. It's easy. I'm actually meeting Pete and Jack at the Butler Building tomorrow to have them set one up, and it'll be a contest between the guys and the girls. No, only kidding. But to see how they can set it up. Unfortunately, the curtains that were supposed to be, that we've always had with the booths, didn't come with the booths. And initially we were told, yep, you don't need them. Well, come to find out, we need some kind of privacy screen. So when I checked in with Mary Jo last week, they're not going to be here till April 1st. That's a little late. So we kind of complained nicely, and they did send something I received on Friday and set it up yesterday. It's plastic. I wanted to bring one, but I got called in early, so I didn't get to go back to the fire station. I was going to put one here. It's a white plastic panel. I want to say it's 6 or 7 inches wide, and it's got a flag on it and a big thing that says vote. Those panels will be on each side of each booth, like a little bit of privacy. So it's not a curtain that's going to go around. The curtains won't come till after election, but it is what it is. It was the best we could do. Let's see. Oh, Mary Jo was not happy. He said April, everything will arrive on April 1st. And she said, that's April Fool's Day. Are you trying to be funny? He went, no, I'm really serious. She did not laugh. But anyway, it's the best we can do. She wanted me to remind everybody, voting day is a week from today. It's the 14th at the fire station, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Today, I did go down to the transfer station and I changed our message board sign to remind people about that. And lastly, on the ARPA part of this is our generator for the transfer station has been ordered. I hand-delivered the deposit check last Wednesday, so there is a light at the end of that tunnel. Thank goodness we haven't had a power failure down there while we've been waiting for this all winter. Now, the EOC, in the last 14 days, our emergency operating center has had to do enhanced monitoring due to snowstorms. We assisted residents where needed. We monitored the weather. God, I'm losing my voice. My husband said I'll be perfect. Monitoring, don't laugh, Matt. Where needed, monitoring weather and road conditions. I worked very closely with police, fire, and highway. The EOC warming shelter was available to the residents. I was there if they wanted to come, have a cup of coffee, plug in their phone, just get warm. We were able to do that. Our E911 application system that you approved at your last meeting has been received by the state, and they'll be setting up a time to come to the EOC for training. This is, as a reminder, it's another level of communication for our residents. It allows us to do emergency broadcasts, and those on the emergency portal will be myself, Chief Jewett, and Chief Elcadino, and the non-emergency broadcasts, they approved Mary Jo and Tony. So if they needed to say, remind people about voting, or maybe we had bad weather and we're going to close town hall, heaven forbid, they could do those non-emergency broadcasts, and they've been approved for that. So once I'm trained, I'm going to put a link on our website so that the residents can also sign up for this if they want to. I'm going to repeat what I said at the last meeting. The pandemic is still here. People are getting a little lax. Remember, the Emergency Management Department, the Board of Selectmen, the Town Administrator, we're all requesting, if you're not feeling well, wear a mask, or better yet, don't come here. We don't want to see you if you're not feeling well. The tax collector said you can do a lot online. Please do whatever you can online. It's very important. And as far as our staff and our committees, our volunteers, if anyone tests positive with COVID, remember, I have to keep it confidential, but I do have to perform contact tracing. So I will ask you who you've been near, have you called them, do you want me to call them? And CDC has said when we do that, we can't say who it is. We may say something like, Bob, you've been in contact with somebody who tested positive on Wednesday when you were at, the transfer station. So please monitor your symptoms. It'll never say who it was. So it's really important to keep me informed. Lastly, voting I did, a grant came through the EOC. Actually, on Friday, I talked to the police chief about it. It's for more security cameras, security systems. So we're just starting work on that. It looks like, I called Homeland Security about it. It looks like it would be easy for us. There will be a match associated with that, so I'll keep you posted once we have a dollar figure, what we need. And then hopefully we can pull a match from, the general fund, I don't know where it will come. My sign money, vote yes on Article 7 and 8. We could use that money if we have to. Anyway, that's it.
Couple
Awesome.
questions.
Oh, yes. So, I'll do your question, go ahead.
So the one for the security cameras, would
Yes.
we be able to apply that to the cameras that we just put in, do you think?
No. So here, the hitch with this is, it was very interesting. This lady said, is this part of the EOC? And I said, well, it's the police department. We're in a safety complex.
Yeah.
Would it help if it was part of the EOC? And she said, yes. So I talked to Chief Jewett. So the security cameras that we already bought, where we bought them, that wouldn't apply, but anything associated with the EOC, which could actually mean town hall. This is a warming shelter.
Right.
So there may be other things that we can pull into this with the grant money. And again, clearly because we're in an environment where we are, money is crucial. And if we can get it with a grant, with a small match, we can do it that way. Article 2. So for those of you who hopefully have looked online to see our warrant articles, or if you haven't, please do, or come into Town Hall. I think Mary Jo has them printed out. It's really important that you vote yes. Our departments will be hard to function if we don't vote yes. The background on this, there's no fluff, there's no extra stuff. So if you vote no, you will see some critical issues that we may have to address, the Board of Selectmen would have to address, and town departments would have to address. So try to keep that in mind. If you have any questions because you don't understand it, call any one of the selectmen, call Mary Jo, the town administrator, you can call me, call Diane, no, call Robin, she's new, don't scare her. But seriously, we're in a rough economy, we all know it, but we need this to operate our town.
And the importance of that, of course, which is important to the taxpayers, is it comes to no increase in their taxes.
Right.
This is just putting the money and allocating it into a fund to where you will be able to access it to do the work
True.
that you need to be done.
True.
So for you taxpayers out there, it's not coming out of your pocket.
So, question on his, are you referring to the warrant article for the proposed versus the
Yes.
default? And you're referring to a warrant
Yes.
article for 7 and 8?
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's okay, I understood that.
I just want to make sure people
Yes.
understand that what he says, what Bob has meant is for Article 7 and 8.
So Article
Article 2
7 and
will
8,
affect your taxes.
right, Article 7 and 8 will not affect your taxes. It's emergency management. So the sign that you hear me talking about, you see it at the transfer station. We've had it at the school. We've had it at the station too. We've had it in front of Town Hall. We move it around depending on what message we're trying to get out there. Homeland Security actually pays us, the EOC. It is the only income that we have. Because we are an on-call department, we don't have, our salary line is like down there in the sewer, it's way down there. And with this money, it would allow the sign money, it would allow us to put it into a revolving account that then we could use during emergencies. So this just isn't, fly by the seat of your pants type of using. This is if we're in a local, state, or a federal emergency. We can use that money to bring the EOC staff in. By the way, I need people, volunteer. Buy supplies. Sometimes during some of these weather-related events, we actually went house to house when we didn't have power, and I had to buy cases of paper, and we put signs on the house so we would know somebody was in this house, and we've checked them. No one's in here, we need to call. So that money in that sign account would allow us to keep operating. Without it, like right now, there's no money in the salary line. I'm working and I'm getting paid, but clearly I will be in a deficit at the end of the year. Unless this warrant article gets approved, we can then transfer money from the revolving account into the operating account for the emergency department. So 2 different things. Warrant Article 2 is about the default versus our regular proposed, and 7 and 8 is about emergency management.
Just to clarify.
Thank you.
One other question. You had a problem that you needed to resolve. Were we able to get that to where you can now post The emergency things
Yes.
online?
Oh, that was so frustrating. Yes.
Okay.
So one of our alert systems, oh, we have to set Robin up for that. I'll do emergency messages. See, everyone's going to know about you pretty soon. When I do emergency alert messages, everybody that has signed up or that hopefully, has told me, hey, add me to this. I wasn't able to log in when you asked me to, we were going to do a delayed opening at the transfer station. And it was a glitch in the system. It took me like 3 hours. It was so frustrating. We got it straightened out, and as you know, I think it was after 8:30 maybe when I made that announcement, which I apologized twice for. I don't like to do them late. But yes, thank you. We got it resolved. And those names are all set now.
Thank you, Trish.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I do want to move on to next the personnel policy. We have a slight update proposed to the existing personnel policy. And I don't know if, Jim, you want to outline that for us? Does that make sense?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the board is well aware, recruitment and retention has been very difficult in this community. So we looked around, and many other communities allow full-time employees to be called full-time employees when they work 35 hours or more. The New Hampshire State Retirement System also used 35 hours as a threshold. And believe it or not, the IRS considers a full-time employee anyone who works more than 30 hours. So this is a step in the right direction. It's going to allow us to be attractive employers by offering benefits for people who are working 35 or more hours.
Thank you, Jim. And as Jim said, this is really an administrative change. I don't think it changes our world all that much, other than to put us more in line with other employers. Does anybody else want to add anything? This is a, as we've talked about before in other meetings, this is an uphill fight. I'm mixing my metaphors, I guess, but it's an uphill fight for us in terms of retention and recruitment. This is a step in the right direction. So if anybody from the board wants to make a motion, I believe.
So I'll move to sign the amended personnel policy, which changes the number of hours per week to be considered a full-time employee from 40 to 35.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, with a roll call vote, Mike?
Yay.
Bob?
Yay.
Charlie?
Yep.
And Mattson, aye. We switched to yays there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
This is the first time all year we did yays. Okay.
We're trying to keep you on your toes, Matt.
You are. I paused there for a minute. I'm like, oh, hold on. Okay, so that
I was
motion
throwing
passes.
excitement out.
Exactly. That motion passes. Now, switching gears a little bit, piggybacking off of something Trish just said, is obviously next Tuesday, 8 to 8, is voting at the fire station. We have put out a voter's guide, or would like to put out a voter's guide, as we typically do. This allows us to explain to voters in a little more plain English what each warrant article means. And has everybody on the board at least had a chance to review the draft voter's guide?
Yep.
Any concerns with the current draft?
None.
Okay, so the town admin sent us a couple hours ago, a proposed paragraph to add to the voter's guide. This paragraph essentially echoes some of what Trish said, and what we've been saying a lot about is what the proposed budget means, and voting for the default would also mean. And we've tapped department heads to give us their input. So I don't know if anybody has that paragraph and they want to read it before we add it. Does that make sense? I don't have it handy.
Hold on.
I'll get it. All right, do you want me to read it?
Please.
Yep.
Thank you.
So a no vote would mean $4,056,763 will be raised to fund the operating costs of the town. This amount is insufficient to maintain the same level of service to which we are accustomed. The default budget would require the town to absorb all the increases in utilities, gasoline, diesel, heat fuels, goods, and services. In doing so, the town of Newton government will have to curb, reduce, or eliminate selected services. We are experiencing great difficulty recruiting and retaining employees, primarily because we are competing with surrounding New Hampshire communities and Massachusetts communities that offer higher pay. Simply said, Newton is not an attractive employer. Not so sure about that, but I thought I looked good. The default budget does not contain the planned increase to our wage scale, which would make us somewhat appealing to job seekers. Our call firefighters, 6 to be exact, were poached by border towns, lured to Kingston and Danville for the pay and, in some cases, benefits. Call departments across the country are becoming a thing of the past, transitioning all call departments to a hybrid model of a combination of full-time and call. If we want to maintain the current model, we must become competitive. In addition, due to the historic inflation we are all experiencing, the default budget would result in reduction in public safety personnel, a reduction in the number of emergency vehicles that respond to calls for assistance. Trinity EMS currently provides hospital transports, are currently free of charge. They are planning to start charging communities for transports, for which there is no funding. Our police department planned for hiring 2 additional officers to increase shift coverage so that no officer will be required to work alone, and to free up seasoned officers to devote their time to the increasing number of cases requiring investigation. These initiatives will not occur. The transfer station may be required to reduce hours of operation to cover a 35% to 40% increase in the cost of hauling and disposal, totaling approximately $80,000. There is a projected 30% increase in the cost of recycling and a 50% increase in the cost of recycling towers. We may be forced to increase the fee schedule. The cost of winter maintenance, sand and salt, has nearly doubled, creating a situation whereby the town's road agent will be unable to provide appropriate attention to road improvements. Summer weather works such as roadside drainage, culvert maintenance, swale cleaning, and paving will have to be scaled back due to the lack of appropriate funding to accomplish these services. Although the Recreation Department has a small budget, the Commission planned to start special mailings throughout the year to advise the community of available programs and special events. This enhanced communication effort cannot be undertaken due to a lack of funding. Our library trustees have expressed concern about having to work with a default budget, purchasing fewer books and DVDs, fewer programs, including supplies needed for the children's story time, having to choose between child and adult programs, the discontinuance of digital lending and genealogy services, reduce the number of current learning and research books Newton students rely on. By voting against the proposed 2023 operating budget in support of the default budget, the town's elected officials, appointed officials, and municipal employees cannot provide the same quality and level of services you are accustomed to.
So thank you, Diane. I'll just kind of like leave it here as to say, there's a cause and effect. And I would just say one more time that we've been looking at these budgets since October, and in every single one of these meetings, we've essentially said, in summary, what Diane just read. The town, if we go to a default, the town's not going to shut down and close, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to continue. And a lot of people will say, well, with everything else that's going on with rising inflation, why would you propose this to the town now? My answer would be you just answered your own question, that rising costs, the inflation costs of electricity, we're facing that as well. this is us trying to adapt, and I'll leave it there. Anybody else on the board want to add anything?
No, it's all cut and dry with everything that was just read by Diane. I mean, it's as simple as it is. Bills have to get paid, just like people have to pay their bills at their house. The town has to pay their bills in order for things to function, like you said, Matt. And if we don't have the money to pay those bills, then you end up having to go without. You end up reducing your cable, right? Because you can't afford to have the upper echelon of it. You have to reduce some channels off of it. Maybe you stop watching how you turn your lights on and you wait till a later day. You don't buy those extra goodies when you go grocery shopping so that you don't have those extra snacks that you like to eat at night. That's exactly what we have to start doing as a town if we don't have that money. We have to watch exactly how we're spending and what we're spending the money on in order to make sure that this town is functioning in a proper manner to at least maintain the health and safety as best we can with what we've got.
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit to that too. I hope the public, when they go to vote, takes into consideration the seriousness of not having a properly staffed police or fire department. The challenges that have been talked about in this document, we've talked about it in the past, where we aren't as attractive as a town to come and work for when we don't have an hourly wage that's competitive, when we don't have benefits that are competitive, and we're trying to move the town forward to be that attractive person or place that people want to come and work at. The fact is that if they're not here and we don't have those bodies, whether it's police or fire, the road agent, whatever, at the end of the day, it could cost somebody their life, right? If our police can't respond safely, if our fire department can't respond because they don't have the people, my biggest fear when it comes down to this stuff is what is the cost? Writing a check is the price that we pay for the lifestyle that we're asking for in this town. The cost could be something different. That cost could be not having people show up when they need to show up. And as selectmen, we all are liaisons, and we hear what goes on sometimes, you know, when the police go out or the fire go out, and it doesn't always get out there what they do. But their call increase is up. When you talk to the fire chief and he puts out his report to the selectmen, we see those calls are up. The police, their calls are up. COVID created some weird things in this town, surrounding towns all over the place. Alcohol consumption is up. Drug use was up. That is real. So, and by the way, people coming through this town from other towns, cities, creates another group of issues that happen in this town. So really sit back and think when you're making your vote, can you afford not to have these things that we need? And I would leave it there with the voters, that really think hard about what you're about to check off. Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
Phil, you want to
No.
add anything?
Everybody knows I voted no.
All right, we'll leave that there then. So do we need a motion to approve this voter's guide?
No, you don't. I just wanted you to read it and make sure that everybody was
Sure.
okay with it.
Yep. So I guess my question to the board is, any changes to the draft?
No, I thought it was well-written and direct and to the point.
Yeah, I have no issues, Matt.
Okay. No issues with the draft as it is. So that'll get out to the voters via the web and printouts and all that good stuff. So, all right. So I guess next we have other business.
Yep.
Anybody want to take that?
Hold on a second.
So you have 2 veterans tax credits that you need to
Yeah,
approve?
so I'll make a motion, move to sign veterans tax credit for tax map 13-3-13, beginning tax year 2023.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous
I'm
vote.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Matt's and I. Next one?
Move to sign Veterans Tax Credit for tax map 8-3-11-80, beginning tax year 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Matt's and I. So that was it for the veterans tax credits.
Yep.
Well, was the next one appointments?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody want to start those off?
I'm going to move to hire Melinda
Oh,
Stanley
what
as...
about the tax abatement?
Huh?
The tax
Do the
abatement?
tax abatement?
Yeah, that's the next one.
All right.
Sorry, I skipped that.
Yes.
So the tax abatement, I move to sign the abatement per recommendation from the assessor to lower the assessment value for tax map 7-2-01-4 from $20,000 to $0 because the structure on the property has been removed.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Matt's and I. Okay, are we okay for
Appointments?
the appointments? Yeah,
The boss just shook her head, so we can.
okay.
Move to hire Melinda Stanley as the finance specialist at an hourly rate of $28 for 35 hours per week with a start date of March 13th, 2023.
Second.
Hold on a second.
Was,
Yeah, the date's changed.
Oh, the date's changed?
Yeah, it's going to be Monday.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just looking at this, okay.
Monday the 13th.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay,
that
so we
was-
had a second from Charlie.
Yep.
Any discussion?
Okay,
Okay, roll call, Mike,
Aye.
that's good.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Matt's and I welcome Melinda. Happy to have you here. Okay, next one.
Move to hire Robin Sparks as the executive assistant to the Board of Selectmen and Town Administrator with an annual salary of $55,000 for a 40-hour week with a start date of Monday, March 27th, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? All right, roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Matt's and I welcome Robin. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that she's already here, taking part in the
Yeah, true.
meeting tonight. So it goes to show that she's a dedicated employee looking to get a good start.
Yeah.
So
that's
thank you
much
for
appre-
coming tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Is there one more appointment?
Yep.
And then we're going to move to appoint Tricia McCarthy to the position of Emergency Management Director. No more acting, but the Emergency Management Director at the rate of $20.67 an hour with a start date of Wednesday, March 8th, 2023.
Second.
Okay. Further discussion, I'd just like to say, I'll let the board jump in as well. Trish has essentially been doing this job for almost a year, and we appreciate all the work she's done. We're still, as Trish said earlier, we're still in the middle of a national pandemic, right? At least until May 11th. So there's been a lot of work, a lot of results with that work. We appreciate the work she's done and appreciate her efforts, and it's nice to be able to make this motion. Anybody else on the board want to add anything?
I'll echo what I said downstairs. Thank you for everything you've done. This year hasn't been easy, no doubt, but thank you for everything you do for this town.
Charlie?
Oh, she knows how I feel.
And I would just like to echo the dedication that is brought forth by Tricia to this town, her love of this town, the dedication, the care that she puts in for the citizens of this town. She puts their health and safety at the utmost level. She puts it above and beyond hers. She acts with a level of humility that is second to none when she does this job. And this town hall, this Board of Selectmen would be at a grave loss without having such a dedicated employee working in our behalf to take care of the people of this town. So with that, I can't express my gratitude enough for you.
All right, so we had a motion, we had a second, we had discussion. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Mike?
Yay.
Bob?
Aye.
Charlie?
I want
Aye.
to see if it kept going down.
And I'll be a yes. So that was unanimous. Well, welcome. It sounds funny to say welcome, church, but welcome, church.
Beach.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Okay, what is next on our agenda?
The minutes.
Minutes, okay. So if anybody wants to make those motions,
Just have one, move to accept the non-public and public meeting minutes dated February 21st and 27th, 2022 as written.
Oh, that should 23, sorry.
23.
Second.
Oh, yeah.
okay, discussion. Roll call vote. Mike?
Yay.
Bob?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
All right, Matt will be an aye as well. So we're now on to announcements. I think the most important one to make again is voting is next Tuesday, 8 to 8 at the fire station. All I will say about that is be an informed voter. And what I mean by that is go back in. The YouTube is available, the Meet the Candidates night. We're going to have the voter's guide out there, as we talked about. You can go in and look at other meetings, minutes, whatever it is. But, you know, Trish also said, you know, reach out to anyone in town hall, but just do your homework. That's our job as residents, as voters, to do our homework. So we hope you do your homework before next Tuesday. You have a whole week to do it. And that's it. Anybody else want to add anything for announcements?
Nope, this is the board as we see it today, and this board could change the next time we meet.
It will change.
Huh?
Yep, it will change.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So we will have 5 members to start with, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the voters will speak next week, right?
Yeah.
And we will, we'll be back in here with whomever to move the town forward. So we appreciate, you know, I always say that it's always a new board, right? Even if it's the same 5 people, it's always a new board, right? With a new year, and we'll have new goals and that stuff. So we appreciate everybody watching these meetings this last year and participating in the meetings, and the members of the board, and we'll start anew next week. Anything I'm missing for announcements?
No, I think you're good.
Okay.
Joe, you got
Does
anything?
Diane think I'm good? Because if Diane thinks I'm good, then we know.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Okay,
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Last roll call vote then. Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Matt's and I, and we'll see you all Tuesday at the polls. Thank you and have a great evening.
I know it'll be weird. We'll have at least